I'm looking for a few dealers because I want to help them out. This is not a service, this is not a pitch, this is I want to work with a few dealers, get them set up with a database that holds their data,
Yes.
and I want to see if that helps them.
All right, we are here with my friends from Autoscores IO. We have Jeff and Josh are going to share a little bit about dealer-vendor relationships and also the importance of knowing whose data it actually is. And we'll get into that a little bit. Jeff, if you could just start by introducing yourself and tell us about your store.
Sure. My name is Jeff Garris. I'm the Director of Business Development for ASOTU Automotive Group in West Virginia. We have a number of rooftops there, mostly luxury brands, as well as for Auto iPacket, which is a software platform currently installed on about 2,000 rooftops.
Very nice.
My name is Noah John. I'm the CEO of Autoscores. Been working with Jeff here for close to 8 years now.
All right, Noah. And what's your role in the company? Did you
I'm the
say?
CEO.
Oh, yeah, you did say CEO. I knew it, but I just wanted to make sure you said
No
it.
problem.
And we have an edit button, so that's even better. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about this word partnership. And you have had a really long-lasting relationship. I think it's very rare in the industry that you have such a long-lasting relationship. So I'd like to get down a little bit on why the partnership has worked for so long and why it continues to work. But how long have you all been working together?
I believe it's about 8 years, maybe a little more than 8 years, across several different dealership structures.
Okay, and why is it, like, what do you think is the special sauce? Why are you still working together?
This gentleman created a platform that is unique in the industry in its ability to provide tangible benefits at a reasonable cost to the dealer. They've been very responsive, they've been very engaging, and they help us with the process of getting our vehicles into the customer's hands.
Noah, what is it like working with someone who has a high standard, right, but also has a collaborative mentality? What's it like working together?
Well, it's very humbling and flattering when a guy like Jeff here moves from position to position, and one of his first priorities seems to be to give me a call and see if there's anything I can do to help. And that's really where I think it starts. Is I think the word partnership can be overused, but I view it more as a partnership than a client, kind of relationship. Because at the end of the day, if I can help him, then he's going to be more inclined to continue to work with us, and it's a win-win for everybody. But at the end of the day, I'd say the biggest thing is any feedback Jeff has given me, I've been able to react. And not only has that helped him, but that in turn helps all the other clients that I have, other partners I have, excuse my language, and it's a benefit for everyone. So I think if you can just go the extra yard when it comes to support and listen to what people are saying instead of just staying like hyper-focused on what you think the vision should be, it's a win-win for everybody because you're actually catering to the needs of the people you're working with.
You brought up the word support, and I think that's a very general term that is probably deployed in 1,000 different ways amongst 1,000 different vendors here. What is your idea? What is your ideal definition of support? What are you actually looking for?
Well, the relationship with Autoscores is not normal. It's extra normal. It's extraordinary for just the reasons that Noah mentioned. When we have either an issue or what we think is an opportunity that would benefit not only our store, but other stores as well, he's the guy that answers the telephone. We don't get lost in a queue. We don't have to fill in a form. We don't have to wait for a reply. There's no queue. It makes sense. We'll prioritize that. We'll get it done. Or, maybe it's not such a good idea. Let's talk about this and figure out whether or not it makes sense for everyone. It's very, very rare in the automotive industry these days.
Totally agree. So we're thinking about support, but we also had a little conversation ahead of time, and there is a lot of talk about data security, data moving back and forth amongst dealers and vendors to one vendor to another. You all have really attacked that head on. What do you see are the biggest issues right now? Like, were you getting jammed up as far as knowing it's your data or feeling like somebody else is keeping it locked up? How are you approaching that situation, and what do you see are the biggest roadblocks for you right now?
Well, the issue for me is that almost every vendor contract that exists where we're talking about multi-party access to data is a two-party contract. It's between me and the platform. And those contracts are written where the platform belongs to them, the code belongs to them, all those aspects belong to whoever that contractor is. But the data is mine. The responsibility for the accuracy of the data is mine. The responsibility for protecting the individual information, privacy party information, is on me. And we get that. But there are so many vendors out there that say, well, now that I've got your data, I'm only going to release it if the party is certified, if the party pays an extra fee, if the party does this or does that. It's not their data, it's my data. So I'm vehemently against that.
And what is your, well, how do you help that, right? So, because you have a unique position where obviously you can't get in the middle of other contracts, right? But you can have a perspective on it in the work that you do, and you can actually help to highlight issues and solutions that might be able to make it better. So I would love your opinion.
And I think the key is it comes back to the ownership part. Right now, if a dealership has data that's important to one of its other vendor partners, that vendor generally has to connect with the vendor themselves, and it's a matter of do they play nice together or not.
Right.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Because you can really do a lot of damage just by slow rolling, right? Not being responsive, slowing down,
Exactly.
causing friction because you're a little, maybe insecure about like you're losing a customer or something like this.
So I think moving forward, I think it's going to be very probable and likely that dealerships at whatever level, whether they're small single point stores or large multi-group franchises, they're going to have to create a database themselves, export the data they can from all their parties, their third-party vendor partners, and essentially take control of ownership because it's their database, and also control of access, so that if a vendor says, hey, I want to provide you a better service, and I could do that if I suddenly get a little CRM information to tie with the inventory information. Well, guess what? Now I don't have to go to the third parties. I go directly to dealer, and the dealer makes the decision. This sounds like a good thing. I will give you access to that very data. Let's figure out something that's going to work best for me, and in turn, best for you.
From a practical experience standpoint, we've just run into that exact scenario. So what happens is Noah and I have a conversation. He tells me what he needs, and I find a way to provide it. And that's what we do. That's the partnership. We work together towards a solution.
Okay, wrapping up, what are you most excited about this year? So we're going into 2022. Everyone's talking about change, transition, be flexible, all of that. What are you focusing on for this next, it's probably 9 months now, going through 2022?
The customer experience. We're in an age of technology. We have done a phenomenal job in our society of teaching people how to digitally shop. Look at Amazon, look at Zappos, look at Google. The car dealership environment has not kept up with that. We still are trying to put square pegs in round holes. So over the course of the rest of this year, our focus will be on helping the customer get the experience that they are used to and that they deserve and that they want.
Same question, 2022. What are you laser focused on?
I'm just excited to be here in person with everybody, to actually see people. This is amazing, I mean, the virtual stuff, it was a necessity, but just to see everyone's faces again, smiling, it's just phenomenal. So I think moving forward, what I'm excited about is, and I'll kind of announce it here, like I'm looking for a few dealers because I want to help them out. This is not a service, this is not a pitch, I want to work with a few dealers, get them set up with a database that holds their data,
yes,
and I want to see if that helps them. So this is not a pitch. Whatever the cost is the cost, but I want to set something up for you. You can tell me to go take a hike afterwards, but I just want to give you this data and get your ownership of it and see if these people actually take advantage of it the way I think they can.
I love it. Jeff, Noah, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and have a great rest of the show.
Yeah,
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.